Hello? Be there? Alright. Is there still buzzing?
Not that I can hear in the call.
No, I don't think so.
Val can still hear
At
buzzing.
least in the call.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to fix that.
Yeah, sorry, you guys are gonna have to deal with that. Or chat's gonna have to deal with that because I don't know what I can do to fix it right now. So, I apologize.
Stream elements.
Hmm.
Apparently you are now live streaming Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Alright.
So stream elements always on time.
So we're gonna do the usual custom items, hard comm, 150cc 4 races.
Cool. Alright.
And for custom items, we're getting rid of coins.
Can't believe it. No money.
You know, I wonder if that buzzing is my Switch fans.
So, you saying, I can't believe it, no money, just instantly reminded me
Oh no.
of a thing from Markiplier's videos with him and his friends Bob and Wade.
What? No money.
No money.
Yeah, I think it might be from porn.
It probably is, but it's fucking hilarious that that is the first thing that comes to mind whenever I hear someone say no money.
I can't
It's
believe
just,
Xeno
"No
watches porn.
money." Fuck you.
Bal says if it was my fan, wouldn't my icon be lit up like you're talking? No, because I have the threshold set somewhat high. Specifically so that won't be picked up.
That's so weird going from pixelated mess that is Super Circuit to fucking this.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for indulging me in that. I hope we have some more GBA games, or even Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that come out that we can play together. If
Oh, yeah.
the Pokemon games come to the app, I actually would consider streaming those. Because I think what we could actually do is have 4 people connected to each other in multiplayer, just playing the games by ourselves, and then connect at points to battle and trade.
I hope that's how it works.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, Bao... Okay, well... Xeno, Simki, and Dennis don't hear the buzzing. When I did a mic test earlier, I didn't hear any buzzing.
Well, your hearing is also shit, so...
Mhm.
I mean, it could be a stream-only thing, because, I don't know.
But I'm thinking it's just some weird, like, stream-only interference of some sort.
Yeah.
Probably. Can you guys at least hear me clearly enough? Is it too much of a problem? Is it annoying? I'm talking to chat, just so you guys know. Like, how distracting or disruptive is it? Val says you're annoying, leave me alone. I kind of need this feedback, Val. I actually need to know, because I can't hear it, and Xeno, Simki, and Dennis can't hear it. So if it's a problem, I need to address it, but if you won't tell me it's a problem, I can't address it.
My god, this is a clusterfuck. Why is everyone bunched together?
I don't know. Because when it comes to issues with my mic, if people on the call can't hear it and I can't hear it, the only people who can is going to be chat.
Yeah.
Which means whoever is actively talking needs to let me know, otherwise I won't notice.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another DLC pass for this game after this one's done.
Val says it's not that big of a deal. It could just be that I need a new headset. Something about it doesn't isn't compatible with OBS or something. That could just be it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another DLC pass, and honestly, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, it'd be
I
nice
just
having
muted in Discord and turned the stream volume up, like, damn near max. There's no buzzing.
Oh, it's on Val's end.
Well, there's some kind of audio interference in OBS because I showed what the bar looks like when I'm not talking.
Huh.
But Sorrow's in chat, and if she heard buzzing, she probably would have chimed in. But only Bal seems to be able to hear it. Oh no, Bal, I'm not saying that you're the cause of it. I'm saying that for some reason you're the only one that can hear it. There is some interference in OBS, but when I did an audio test earlier, because I noticed something was making the bar go up, I didn't hear anything when I had my own mic turned on. So, whatever is being picked up, I can't hear it, Dennis can't hear it, Simkey can't hear it, and Xeno can't hear it.
And I turned my volume, like, all the way up to listen for stuff, and I didn't hear anything.
So,
Alan particularly gets to hear it.
I'm very confused. Because there is something fucking up my OBS audio right now. But for whatever reason, only Bao can hear it.
Oh my god, whoever hit me with a shell, your mom's a hoe.
Hmm.
That caused me to miss the fucking, blue mushroom. So I just careened off the side after hitting one of the red bouncy ones.
What when the race ends and the NPC that takes over instantly drives off a cliff?
Oh, I usually try and, hit the finish line and then pull, like, left or right to go just drive
I did not want that
immediately
track.
off. Oh god, that is a horrible track to accidentally pick.
Yeah. I was
Wait,
trying to pick Ribbon Road.
Simkey accidentally picked Neo Bowser City. I don't know why they brought that track back for the original DLC.
No one liked it in 3DS. I mean,
Some of the
it
turns are so
Yellow for
annoying.
inside drifting, and oh my god.
Why?
Why?
It hurt us talking. Every copy of
It
Mario
looks-
Kart 8 is personalized.
It's a good-looking track. It's just got really weird turns and weird water physics.
It's horrendous if you use inside drifting.
Well, then don't use inside drifting.
Well, fuck you, it's better.
Oh, it's not.
You just suck.
You're the one who's using the inferior drifting.
Bitch, I have a red shell with your name on it. Okay, never mind, I went for Donkey Kong. What the fuck?
Yeah, and whose name was on it?
Lock on. You wrote down the wrong name.
Donkey King.
Thanks. One of the NPCs decided to push ahead of me after I got hit by a green shell and got hit by another green shell meant for me.
Mr. President, get down. I didn't mean to use that horn instantly.
Oh god, lightning!
Oh god, I have like a quarter of a Wagyu cheesesteak waiting for me when I get out of stream.
I still have half of my meatball subs sitting here staring at me on my desk.
We got food from Capriotti's today. If you guys have a Capriotti's in your area, I would highly recommend them. They are such a good sandwich place.
Oh, bye, Dennis.
I don't think there's many in Chicago.
Very good.
I think there might only be one or two. But they seem
right
to be
on.
opening up a lot of new places. The only national chain I know of that sells cheesesteaks, and definitely the only chain I know of in general that sells Wagyu cheesesteaks.
I don't know one of those where I am.
Well, from what I know, Capriotti's is actually based in Nevada, so...
At some point.
What I'm getting at is they're not a Midwest thing, necessarily, so... You might be able to find one somewhere.
Well, down I go.
You know, I remember in one of the servers I'm in, some people made fun of me for the amount of sandwiches I eat. And I had to explain to them that I'm from
Why?
Chicago. 90% of my diet is a sandwich. Like, I'm not even joking. Come to Chicago. Almost every restaurant here, like a local place, sells burgers, hot dogs, or wraps, or some kind of toasted or untoasted sandwich. There was a guy from Chicago who won Next Food Network Star, and he opened a restaurant that mostly sold sandwiches, and when he had a show on Food Network, it was called The Sandwich King. And if that is not a perfect representation of Chicago food culture, I don't know what is. From what I know, his restaurant closed down, not because of him, but because of who was managing it, and the show ended, but he's still on... what's that cooking talk show called? The Kitchen, I think?
Yeah, the kitchen.
Yeah, he's on that now. Yeah, there's a lot of good sandwich places around here. If you have a Potbelly, excuse me, they're actually a Chicago chain. They're also everywhere.
Potbelly is so fucking good.
What you do is you go to Potbelly, you get their rec, which is all of their meat options on the same sandwich. You order pepperoni on it, so you get a Reccaroni. Get whatever toppings you want. Grab a bag of Zapp's chips from the counter, because Zapp's has kettle-cooked chips. They're very good. And then you order a coffee shake, which comes with a free cookie. And then you will have a feast fit for a king.
And the wreck with pepperoni is not on their menu. That's a secret item.
Yeah.
It's the item that makes the employees dislike whoever's ordering it. Ha ha ha.
Not a Potbelly, because it's like the worst kept secret. Because you can order pepperoni on almost any sandwich. If you specifically order pepperoni on a wreck, it becomes a Reccaroni.
I'm only kidding. At least for that. That's a situation where it wouldn't be. But I think about how a lot of times, like, the secret menu item type stuff is, like, the things that you order that make the employees just groan at whoever's ordering it.
Yeah.
That's not one of them, no. Because that's just like, you're making a sandwich and you're just requesting some kind of topping addition. And it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
That's not exactly changing the order in a way that makes it harder to make. But it's like more like the Starbucks type stuff. Like,
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Starbucks, I've only ever been to one once. And that was actually with Dennis. Because Dennis and I were doing a thing for a while where we would
yeah.
go to restaurants in Chicago and trade off who was paying, and the last time we ate out together, we went to a Japanese place, and right across the street was a Starbucks. Dennis asked if I wanted coffee, and I told him I've never been there before. So that was the first time I ever had Starbucks.
I'll usually go if I work like a Saturday. I'll like just go after work and get myself a coffee because I'm tired and my weekend is beginning.
Yeah. Speaking of Dennis, I'm nearing the point where I might be comfortable doing that again, so we gotta make plans.
Oh, I'm cool with that. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I wanna start my exercise routine first, that way I can feel a little better about going in public. Because I have put on a significant amount of weight since the pandemic. Significant for me, because for like 6 years straight I wasn't gaining any weight. In fact, I was losing weight. Not in a good way. Wow, I actually got third. Zeno, we got beat by a monkey.
Yep.
Monkey.
Donkey Kong.
That's right. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, banana.
There was one post I saw, which just imagine going somewhere new and all you see is one of these on the ground. It was a picture of the Donkey Kong, like a 64 character change. I was just like, imagine it just had your face on it.
Oh yeah, that was a character change. If you know the words, you need to fire in spurts. CG coconut gun. CG coconut gun.
It's a bit of a mess, but it's interesting at least.
It is collectathon hell.
Yeah, it's like the worst aspects of collectathon games.
So I hope you guys are ready because I'm starting again.
Funny, because the special edition bonus is a yellow N64 expansion pack.
Hooray!
You know, the thing you're supposed to cover up.
Yeah, that's cool. It's also possible to glitch the game to get more than 100%, because there is a pad you can hit that is hidden in a field of flowers, where they moved it there, removed it from the 100%, but forgot to remove the pad.
Oh, that one, yeah.
And there's also an extra banana balloon you can hit if you use a very simple trick to get into one of the test rooms. Where at the blueprint screen, when you get the screen to look at your blueprints or leave the room, if you press both buttons at the same time with the right timing, it'll take you to a test room. And the banana balloon there does count for the percentage, which means you can get over 100%.
Yeah, I think DK64 was, like, rushed.
Well, you know why it requires the expansion pack, right?
Couldn't they just not get it optimized?
No, it crashes if you don't use it. They don't know why.
Oh.
The only thing that fixed the bug was using the expansion pack, so they just made it require the expansion pack.
Yeah, DK64 was definitely a rushed mess.
Oh, this course looks familiar.
Yep.
Yep. I really appreciate that they kept the mansion in the background, because that's supposed to be Luigi's mansion.
Yeah.
It doesn't completely resemble it, but it's supposed to be Luigi's mansion. Speaking of, I need to stream that.
Wow, is Luigi a billionaire?
Well,
Down
not
with the
Star.
rich.
Luigi's McMansion.
SMH, Luigi gets trapped into the balls of capitalism.
I'm hoping at some point they port the first Luigi's Mansion and Dark Moon to Switch.
Honestly, I could easily live without Dark Moon. Dark
Actually,
Moon
really.
isn't a bad game. It had a lot of great ideas, but the mission structure really ruins the progression.
Dark Moon's multiplayer, though.
Well, Luigi's Mansion 3 is multiplayer.
Yeah, Luigi's
Yeah.
Mansion 3.
And it has better
Basically just brought
multiplayer.
it back.
Speaking of, Dennis, you own Luigi's Mansion 3, yeah?
Yep.
Simke, you own Luigi's Mansion 3, yeah?
Yeah.
We should do that for a Saturday stream. I never played the multiplayer. I still haven't gotten to play it.
I love the multiplayer in Darkman. I haven't played much of 3.
Well, Xena won't be able to join because we only have the one copy of the game.
Yeah.
But we should do that at some point.
It's funny, when I got Dark Moon, they could still actually find multiplayer lobbies, but there's usually like 2 lobbies total. The most amount of people I saw online was 10. Which, for a 3DS game, it's not actually that bad.
No. The 3DS is like fucking dead at this point. I have very fond memories of using the 3DS. I loved Street Pass, and it was really great for conventions.
Street Pass was a really cool feature, and I kind of wish they'd try that again.
I finished all the puzzles.
Yo.
I was very happy that I was able to do that before the 3DS died. As in the console, not my console.
I mean, most people just use them as homebrew machines now because they're exceedingly good for that.
See, I would do something like that, but... I mean, my Steam Deck essentially serves that purpose.
Yeah. I guess more if you're trying to play 3DS games in totally legal manners, the actual system is usually better for them.
Speaking of the Steam Deck, I will be using that to play a totally legit copy of Mario 64 that is definitely not unusual in any circumstances once I have 100 followers.
Completely normal.
Yeah, no, it is personalized for my tastes. And that is all I will say.
If you had a ROM card, you could probably actually run that on the real N64 if it would work on there.
My totally normal copy of Mario 64 that I will be playing does occasionally crash. And I don't think that would be good for the hardware.
No, the N64 does not like crashing.
Yeah. And I'm being vague on purpose, but I can explain more off stream.
Because the way the cartridges work, the N64 gets a little volatile when crashing.
Yeah.
Really?
Because the way it loads things, the cartridges don't crash properly most of the time, and instead of just random stuff can get deloaded.
Yeah, that's why I am using a totally legit N64 and not my Pikachu N64. Because I kind of suspected something like that. But I'll explain more off-stream, because there are some quirks to this personalized copy.
2 blue shells back to back.
Yeah, removing the coins really fucks up the item roulette.
It's because the coins are so heavily weighted.
Yep.
The one game that would have benefited from having a coin power-up, Super Circuit, doesn't have one.
We'll get Maple Treeway eventually.
At some point.
Wow! Literally the only person who didn't pick Maple Treeway, and we still haven't gotten Maple Treeway.
The game doesn't want to give us Maple Treeway, it hates Maple Treeway.
Dennis, can you please pick Maple Treeway in the next one?
Sure, I will.
Because Maple Treeway was one of my most requested tracks, and I'm actually running out of tracks that I want to see returned. Because we got Mushroom Gorge, we got Sky Garden, we got Waluigi Pinball, we got Coconut Mall, we got Calamari Desert, we got Rock Rock Mountain. and we got 3DS Rainbow Road. I literally don't know what else I can ask for aside from Koopa Cave.
The only tracks like I can think of is one of the Bowser's Castle, like 1 or 4 from Super Circuit, and maybe some more of the Wario and Waluigi tracks from like Double Dash and 64.
Wario Stadium from N64 would also be nice.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites back in the day.
We actually don't have that many Double Dash tracks in this game.
There are exactly 4, and none were in the booster course.
We're probably gonna actually start getting Double Dash courses at some point in the boosters.
However,
'Cause
one is technically. I mean, I know there's one that's a DLC track because Yoshi Circuit, which was obviously not a DLC in this game, but it
2,
was a
Yoshi
DLC
Circuit
track.
and Baby Park. And then the
Oh,
base
yeah.
game had Dry
Baby
Desert
Park
and
is
Sherbert Land. There are no GameCube courses in the booster course so far, though.
it's really weird.
We've gotten literally everything except GameCube.
Do we know the full
Yeah.
list for the upcoming one yet, or no?
No, the only one we know is a new track called Yoshi's Island, which is not from
Well,
Tour.
Well, it could
Like
be
a
in the next
proper
pack for all we
actual
know.
track.
If I remember correctly from a data mine of song titles for the upcoming tracks, I believe Daisy Cruiser is supposedly coming, but that's the only one that I know for
Ooh.
sure.
Having
Daisy
Daisy Cruiser would be
Cruiser-
nice.
Daisy
I like that
Cruiser.
course. I'm seeing him, what was it, Shine Beach as well.
I believe it was called Peach
Literally
Beach.
any of the various
Beach,
Isle
right.
Delfino themed courses.
Okay,
Double
actually,
Dash.
Peach Beach. That's a good one. I want that one back.
Yeah, that one's fun. And also, again, one of the few Isle Delfino themed courses. And also, if we're gonna get new tracks based on other franchises, it would be cool to see like Paper Mario or just some of the other weird spin-offs.
Mario Pinball Land.
I don't really
God.
know what the logistics behind it would be, but I would kind of low key want a Mach Rider themed course just for the song.
I'm
That would be
surprised
cool.
that isn't on NSO.
That's not.
It's not.
It's not, no. But Nintendo seems to have just forgotten Mach Rider exists, honestly.
I know, it's so weird.
It's like such an amazing theme for that game.
Okay, Maple Treeway, Dennis.
Peach Gardens. I got it.
I wonder what track it's going to be. Everyone picks Maple Treeway. We still somehow get Neo Bowser City.
I swear to God.
Yeah, Mach Rider was developed by HAL as well.
So, if you could pick... Okay, so I'm assuming with Birdo coming, we're probably going to get 3 other characters in this pack. And then in one of the next DLCs, we're going to get another 4. With Birdo, who would you want the other 3 characters to be? I want one of them
We
to be
have
Pauline.
Link. So, Zelda.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see Zelda. Some other just crossover characters in general would be fun for other franchise Nintendo stuff.
My vote goes to Pauline, King Babam, and Captain Falcon.
Oh my God! Imagine King Babam in Like,
Listen, Mario
tiny
Golf
ass
Super
beetle.
Rush finally brought back him as a character, and I'm so happy about that. Speaking of Mario Golf, Zeno, you need to get a copy of that so we can actually do 4-player.
Yeah, I do.
Wasn't I? That game has that. Yeah, that game is online.
Yeah.
What about Super Mario Strikers?
I regret playing
know.
that game, honestly.
I regret buying that at full price.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do in it.
It needed a campaign. I don't know why they didn't give it a campaign or a career mode or anything like that.
It's literally
Runline also
nothing.
kind of sucked.
Especially since Mario Golf and Tennis had a pretty good career modes.
I mean, golf and tennis were also a little light on content, but they at least had something enjoyable to do. With Mario Strikers, the matches are over so quickly. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point too, though, Mario Golf
Oh.
definitely a good amount of content in Golfing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Mario Golf has gotten updates at this point. Not too many, but it's a lot better now.
They I think doubled the course count, and there's a lot
Yeah.
more challenge stuff. So they made it worth
might
it.
be
And
a-
that game was just fun anyways. So
Mario Golf
Yeah.
games are always a
Fine.
blast. It's like the only time I'll ever enjoy golf.
Mario Golf would make a good Saturday stream.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Zeno needs to get a copy, because we only have one copy of the game, so he wouldn't actually be able to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see about picking up a copy at some point. Oh my god, 2 fucking bloopers at the same time? What the hell?
Jesus. I would say get it on a sale, but Nintendo doesn't do sales.
Oh, I mean they do. It's just that it
It's
makes a
what the
$60
strategy
game
was
cost
with Mario
$40,
Strikers.
which isn't really much of a sale.
I haven't seen Mario Golf on sale yet.
If you
I'm
get
just
it,
Probably
annoyed that
find a
like
cheap copy on eBay.
yeah, if you get it on eBay, you can probably find a lower price. Because when Zeno and I got Pokemon Sword and Shield finally, we got it on eBay when it dropped to $30. So with a $30 expansion pass, we essentially paid $60 for the full game and DLC.
I think I ended up doing the same when I got it. I paid around the same.
Yeah, I think you almost are going to get it with like GameStop credit or something, and I talked you out of it because you'd be able to get it cheaper through eBay.
No, I did use the GameStop credit because the difference was only slight, and the GameStop credit wasn't exactly my money anyways. So I was like, I just use it.
I was
I
an
don't want
eighth.
to use it any other way.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm annoyed by how Mario Strikers kind of ended up being, because it had a solid foundation that they never really followed up on. And the online was weirdly lacking in terms of the fact that they had this whole system of you like creating your league, but then you couldn't do like 4-player matches with it. So like what was the point? Like you can only do it with like I think 2 people in your league. You couldn't have full 4-player matches, which makes like no sense whatsoever.
$20 copy of Super Rush with $15 shipping. Fuck off.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was
Shipping's
about to
based
say,
on
they're-
weight and dimensions. It's a fucking Switch game.
About to say,
Oh hey,
it's about
Super
$40
Rush,
per
Odyssey,
used.
and Super Mario Maker 2. All 3 of them for $110 and $20 shipping.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm looking at the listings on eBay too. Why are the shipping so expensive for someone? Why does someone have a sealed copy for $170?
You can
you
still get
insane?
it sealed for 60. I don't.
It's a Iwata is such a scam.
Oh, this is a water graded one?
Yeah,
Oh, don't get me started on that. I would literally spend the rest of the
Me
stream
neither.
shitting on Wada.
same.
God.
They're still fighting lawsuits right now, I think.
Good, I hope they lose.
I do too.
Fucking ruining the retro market. You guys ready for more?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to start
Wada
picking
and-
some of the base game tracks because I never do them anymore. I haven't done them in a while.
So you heard that DK Oldies just getting obliterated by people on YouTube?
I don't know who that is.
It's a retro game store that overprices the ever-living hell out of everything, like $500 for an N64 with a controller and, like, Ocarina of Time.
What the fuck?
That's
thing
not
is
worth anywhere close to that.
The thing is they say they refurbish all their consoles.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I did hear about this. The guy got in some serious hot water because of the price gouging.
Yeah, but not only that, they don't actually refurbish the consoles, even though they say they do. Someone ordered a refurbished N64 on them, and when they opened it up, it was water damaged, and it didn't even turn on.
Jesus.
Someone opened up the PS3 that was literally caked in so much dust, and it looked like it had like smoke damage from cigarette, like smoke.
Oh, speaking of Mario sports
PS3
games,
was $400.
I still, what was 400?
The PS3 that looked like it had smoke damage and was filled with dust,
Jesus.
and had dried up thermal paste.
I still need to get Mario Tennis Aces because I never actually got
I did
that.
too. I haven't bought that game yet. Like, there's a few Switch games because I didn't get a Switch at launch. I got like 7 months after launch, so there's a few like launch titles I just don't own.
Well, that wasn't a launch title, but I missed a bunch of games because I got my Switch at launch, but I wasn't getting every game that was coming out that I wanted. So I'm actually a bit behind on several games that I wanted to get.
Yeah. I'm missing Tennis Aces, the first new Mario Party that released on here. I'm forgetting its name right now.
It's not really worth it.
Super Mario Party. It's not bad, but
Still wanna get it.
Superstars is so much better.
Oh yeah.
I like those.
And what's the other one? Oh yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses is what I want to get.
Oh, Three Houses is so fucking good.
Yeah, that,
I don't have Mario Tennis Aces, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Mario Maker 2. I swear there was another one, and I'm now forgetting.
and Mario Maker 2. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is pretty good. It's a little awkward without the Wii U gamepad for the touchscreen levels.
That's the main thing that stopped me, is like, I don't know if it's really worth getting on Switch.
Yeah, like it has the DLC, which is the only reason I can't really recommend the Wii U version over it. Because it has a proper campaign DLC.
It has
only
DLC
on
on the
Switch.
console it didn't launch on.
Yeah, they made some DLC for it to make it a bit more worth the $50 price tag for a Wii U port.
Dennis, I think SimKey means it has extra content.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's an actual like paid DLC on
Oh!
the Switch version.
Oh, I actually
It's
didn't
a
know
whole
that.
new campaign.
I must
Yeah.
have missed that. Speaking of physical Switch games, I'm starting to think that maybe I want to get a physical copy of Clubhouse Games, because I really like it. And I bought it digitally. I didn't get a physical copy.
Yeah, I got that one. Physical. That was one of the ones I was missing for a while.
I also have Ring Fit that I haven't played yet because we don't have enough space for me to actually use it. We're working on that.
So I have that one.
You guys may have occasionally heard the floorboards outside my room. That's not the only problem with this house. If I do exercise on any floor that isn't the basement, I am going to fall through it.
Oh,
Like, we're not really at risk of this house just collapsing, but this house is not stable.
Yep, it's a very old house.
It's a very old house that has not been properly maintained. Not really our fault, necessarily. There's
definitely
reasons
not.
that I won't get into here, because it's family issues, and that's not something I want to talk about on stream. But,
yeah.
I bought the game when I did because it was on sale, and I wanted to get it so I could actually use it when I was in a position to use it.
I mean, another game I regret buying at full price was Switch Sports.
I've been tempted to get it, but the thing is, it just looks like a worse Wii Sports Resort to me, and Wii Sports Resort is a game I hold very dear.
It is just a worse Wii Sports Resort, and it launched with no content.
And then the content that was planned got seriously delayed.
Yeah, it has nothing going for it over at Wii Sports Resort.
I still hope that they'll add more stuff, but
They have added
They've-
some more stuff so far. I think they added Dolphin and one other thing now.
that's the only sport that I know that they added.
To my knowledge, yeah. Because there were supposed to be more plans, and then golf got delayed, and they never announced anything else.
They did
Yeah.
have an update. They've had sporadic updates that have added like some new features, like a new move in volleyball, and like leg strap controls on like soccer or something.
Yeah.
But
I
in
don't know.
terms
I
of
feel
like
that
new
game's dev
stuff,
team must have got like cut apart or something.
the dev team is actually, I think these developers to Mario Kart developers. Or something
you
like
know,
that.
maybe the Mario Kart DLC course pack, if they're the same devs, just kind of pushed everyone back onto Mario Kart.
There's something, or no, maybe it's not that. It's, I don't know. There's some. I have to look at the developers after this because I swear there's like some title that is shared by like developers that are actively doing something at the same time, and that's kind
Yeah.
of why. But I don't remember. I'll set the check after this close.
I'll set that on another game then. I hope we get them Mario Tennis GBC.
Oh yeah, that and Mario Golf. That way we can actually unlock those characters in the N64 games.
Yeah, and Mario Tennis GBC is so weird because the Mario characters are actually barely even in it.
I think they're only in the
As well as
multiplayer.
that, it's an RPG.
People love it because of that, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but it's just such a weird concept. Yeah,
what the
literally the
fuck?
Mario characters appear in
the
the last
soundtrack.
2 hours of the game.
I picked this track last time, Xeno.
Oh, they're
I didn't even notice.
the same team for Splatoon. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Okay.
that would do
That
it.
explains it.
Speaking of Splatoon, are you guys fine with me not announcing what next Saturday's stream is until I see if anything comes out this week?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So,
I'm seeing the. Oh, go ahead.
because I was going to say, there's a very good chance Mario Kart 8's new DLC could come out literally anytime next week. Starting next week. And there's no way of knowing until it's out.
Because Nintendo likes to announce things a couple days before they come out.
Or the day they come out.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they started doing that to stem, like, leaks and fake leaks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that they only announced Nintendo Directs, like, 2 days before they happen, so people don't have time to really get anything put together.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's
That
bad.
doesn't stop people though.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
My favorite
I know, I
fake
have a lot
leak
of
about
other
any
points.
Nintendo Direct was the one that it supposedly was going to announce Metroid Equestrian Races.
I still can't believe that the Fire Emblem Engage leaks are fucking real.
People weren't thrilled
Yeah.
about that at first.
No, the FE community was fucking pissed.
To
Why?
at
And
least
we
John.
all kind of just Stockholm syndromed ourselves into liking the game.
Dennis, people
Why?
didn't like the character designs because they were kind of out there for Fire Emblem, and it turned out the main character was designed by a VTuber artist. Which is why they have toothpaste
Not
hair.
just that, the lead artist of the team was a VTuber character designer.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah, and like,
What
Which
you say-
explains
I like how
why
you say
so
was.
many characters are just fucking out there.
was that Dennis?
Yeah.
I like how you say was.
I
That they
talk
were
weirdly.
a
I say
VTuber character. They were a VTuber character designer.
I talk weirdly. If I'm trying to get a point out, I'm going to stumble some of the words. It's just how I say things.
That's funny,
No, I just like the implication that they just no longer.
I have nothing against VTuber character designers. I mean, quite obviously, since I'm going to be one at some... Not going to be a character designer, but going to be a VTuber at some point. But for a lot of VTubers, the designs are really cool for VTubing, but are really weird in the context of literally anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's always multicolored hair, mismatched clothing, and asymmetrical designs.
Or
Yep.
worse, a different race than the person that's actually being recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make a joke, but I really shouldn't make it.
I mean,
Remember when like the entirety of Smash Bros 3DS got leaked and just no one believed it because of how weird it was?
And then a guy from Nintendo got fired shortly afterwards.
Yeah. Because
Also,
like the
Shout out
characters
to that
leaked
one
showed were the
poor
weird like,
bastard
Dennis.
translator.
I need to understand, I know you're joking about what you said about VTuber controversy. That actually happened.
I know it
Yeah.
happens definitely not infrequently.
Oh no. Like, I don't really want to get into that discussion right now, but I will say there is all. I've been thinking about how strange it is that it's just accepted that a lot of white VTubers have Asian names.
Yeah, no, that's I had seen people just kind of make reference to stuff like that, like this past week on Twitter, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is something that definitely happens an alarming amount of times, where it's
Yeah.
people with VTuber models in which their sort of like screen name is not what that matching like their actual race, because it's like, you know, kawaii anime VTuber character, and it's like, you know, form a parasocial relationship with me, and I am pretending to be like Asian.
Well, the parasocial thing, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because almost every streamer doesn't want that. Because that's bad for both ends of it. It's very unhealthy.
I don't think it's that they're trying to pretend to be Asian, it's just... it's an Asian name. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, like, there's one... The person who got me into VTubing has an Asian name, even though she's not actually Asian. But she's just really into anime, because her VTuber is essentially an anime character. Because that's the thing, a lot of VTubers, their Asian name is their character name.
Yeah.
It's just that there has been a non-zero number of VTubers who were catfishing people as an Asian person.
Yep.
There is one particular VTuber who is no longer a VTuber that I will not name, that Xeno knows who I'm talking about, who got outed as catfishing everyone because they were not the race that they said they were.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm referring to. Like, that.
Yeah, that's looked down upon even by the VTubers who have Asian names. Because, like, the VTuber that got me into VTubing is named Kisaka Toriyama, and she is a wonderful person. And I've actually rated her a few times. She also is actually well-versed in Japanese culture, so while she may be using an Asian name like Kisaka Toriyama, she's very respectful to the culture. But, like, there are definitely some people, not necessarily just VTubers either, who are a little too into anime and don't properly understand Japanese culture.
Yep.
But it is a very uncomfortable discussion, because I'm very certain that many of the people who do stuff like that, like, say, Kisaka Toriyama, do not mean any harm in it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I think about occasionally, because I don't think it's ever been properly addressed in the VTuber community.
Nor will it ever be addressed, honestly.
Yeah, since there's a significant amount of overlap between VTubers and anime fans, like, nobody wants to really talk about that. You don't really see that with the furry VTuber side, because it's a... The thing about furry VTubers is most furry VTubers, they are essentially just streaming as themselves. They've always been presenting that way. So, it's like a completely different mindset. And I got into VTubing because of Kisaka, but, you know, I mostly just surround myself with the furry VTubers, so it's a different community. So, we still have an hour left to stream. Do you guys want to keep going? Do you want to end early?
Can we keep continuing?
I don't mind going.
Let's keep going.
I can go again.
Do you want me to change the items at all, or do you want to keep doing this?
No, I'm fine with how
I think
it
having
is.
the coin out of the pool is a pretty good item set.
Yeah, I actually like it more than frantic items now.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much ends up being frantic items because you get more actually good stuff.
Oh, also, speaking of Saturday streams, after this week, and we see if the Mario Kart DLC or whatever gets announced, I would like to experiment with some new games for Saturday streams.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mentioned Luigi's Mansion 3 as one of them. I would like to finally do Sonic Racing, if that's okay with you guys at some point.
Yeah.
We can talk about this more off-stream, but
Oh yeah.
I don't want our selection to get too stale, because we aside from Left 4 Dead 2, we seem to be cycling between the same few games, and I want to kind of throw in some more odd ones here and there.
And you also mentioned Mario Golf as well.
Yeah. That one I want to wait on until Xeno gets his own copy so he can actually join. That way we can actually do full 4-player.
I just need to actually play that game again since I have not played it since it launched.
I have to play it again too to get some practice in, because I have not played it in quite some time. I also did not finish unlocking everything.
What game did you say?
Yeah.
Mario Golf Super Rush.
Oh.
Just need to get on Sonic All-Stars Racing and start unlocking stuff on the PC version.
Yeah, I'm missing 2 characters.
Or I could just see if it uses an ini file.
Yeah, I was gonna check that too, because I don't know if I really want to do the campaign.
It's a very, very high likelihood it uses an ini file due to it being a 7th gen game. But most 7th gen games just save their data on ini files.
Yeah, and the campaign in that is a fucking nightmare.
Like Sanctum 2, you can actually just straight up go into the files and change your level at will.
Oh, wonderful.
Speaking of Sonic R remastered when?
In Sonic
actually
Racing
like Sonic
Transformed, the track for Ocean View goes into a Super Sonic Racing remix.
But I'd prefer Can You Feel the Sunshine MVP.
Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up your day?
I have Sonic R, like, actually on Saturn, and I actually like it, like, pretty good amount.
It was fun. I played it a lot.
I have the version that's in Sonic Gems Collection, and I fucking hate it.
I don't know if the Sonic Gems Collection version has any issues.
It's based on the PC version.
That would do it. I know that version has a lot of problems.
I feel like Sonic R was like the prime example of like the meme where when people meme like when a composer goes like way too hard on the soundtrack, where it's like don't worry, you're just making some music for a Sonic racing game, nothing too fancy.
Man composing track about monkey riding a swordfish accidentally transcends music.
Yeah. Also, there's some weird quirks in Sonic R and just some weird stuff, like the miracle of the last course having transparencies. Because fun fact, Sega Saturn can't actually render transparent textures.
Oh, of course it can't.
So they just they double render it like usual?
No, it actually has real, like, I don't know how they did it, but it actually has real transparencies. You can see through them and there's no mesh.
Some developers got some wild results out of the Saturn, because the Saturn also can't render triangles.
Yeah, like
It can't?
It's a square with one vertice set to 0.
What the fuck?
The
Oh god, there's blue.
Blue Giant.
Blue Giant.
What else? Sonic R also for some reason has a model of an F1 race car in it.
What the fuck?
One of the Mario Kart arcade games, I think it's GP2, has a photo of the Bosnian hostage crisis in it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's just in the files. For some reason, I think it was used to test the camera. But why they would pick that of all things, I don't know.
Like, I get why the F1 car was in there, because I think in early development Sonic R was supposed to be a virtual racer game.
I have Virtual Racing on Switch. I think that has online.
Oh, if it does, that's an option.
So is Hot Shot Racing, which I would love to play online. And if you if you played Daytona USA or Sega Rally Championship or Virtual Racing, you will love Hot Shot Racing because it's a direct tribute to those games, and it's actually made by Sumo Digital, the guys who did Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yeah, I need to pick up that game because just the concept in general, because I love both of those like games, Daytona and Sonic All-Stars Racing.
Yeah, it's really good. The voice acting is a little grating, but it's got some stellar gameplay. I would love to play it online. Unfortunately, the online was dead on arrival.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. There's a Sumo Digital game with no like brand backing behind it.
Yeah, it also released with no fanfare. The only reason why I even bought it is because of a Nintendo Life article. If I hadn't seen that article, I would have ignored the game. Because I wouldn't have known it was Sumo Digital.
Gets completely ignored unless they're producing something with a license.
I have actually talked to people before about how racing games tend to do poorly if they don't have a license.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I mean, it's probably just because they're without a license, they're very samey.
Very samey, and there's no recognizable characters. The
Yeah.
fact
You
that
know,
Rivals
speaking
of
of,
Aether made a platform fighter with almost entirely original characters and succeeded is astounding. Because that is a recipe for
Counterpoint
disaster.
Furries.
What, Dennis?
Counterpoint furries.
True. Well, I mean, they literally have furries on the art team. One of the lead artists is Mark Nelson,
Yeah.
who is a well-known furry.
Yeah,
A well-known,
That's why it
incredibly gay
succeeded.
furry.
that's why it succeeded 100%.
Ow, I just hit myself on a green shell.
Another one of the artists, I think, is named Diesel, who is also a well-known furry. Funnily enough, the creator of the game, Dan Furness, is not a furry.
But
He has outright stated he is not a furry, but he knew if he wanted his game to look right, he had to hire furries.
Oh, speaking
funny.
of like racing games, what about Fast Racing Neo?
oh
You
yeah,
remember that? You remember that game? When
I
it was
forgot
like-
about that game.
On
The game
Switch
that
is
blew
Fast
up
RMX, but
briefly.
yeah, that is an option. We could play that.
Remember
Yeah.
that game? The game that blew up very briefly because people desperately craved an F-Zero title.
It's actually
It's
the
a-
best F-Zero clone out there. It's literally the
yeah.
best.
People just kind of stopped. People stopped caring about it because its release was on the Wii U, where it got mass amounts of praise, and then when they released RMX on Switch, just everyone ignored it.
Even though it's the better version.
Yeah, I only have the Wii U version because it was on sale for $5.
There's also always Quake multiplayer.
Yeah, and that actually has
Yeah.
crossplay, which means Xeno can join without having to use the PC version, because the Switch version supports mouse and keyboard.
Yep.
And I can join from Steam Deck or Switch, because I have both.
And it's a lot easier to set up now because it has servers.
Yep. The catch
I
is
hate
I don't know
what
how
they
the multiplayer maps would work if we were doing crossplay, because I don't think we'd be able to do custom maps. Not like I have any.
Not like you can do custom maps in the first place. They changed the way Quake custom maps work, so you can't actually just put up your own maps into the files. Which is
Yeah.
the most annoying thing about the new release of Quake, is they just destroyed the old way modding works, and I don't know how to do it anymore, or if you even can.
You can actually... the PC version of Quake lets you launch the DOS version, and it has the DOS files, so you can run it through the source port. So, you can still mod Quake
it's
the
just a
old
lot
way,
harder
it's
than
just
it
the
used
new
to be.
version of Quake does not let you do that.
Yeah.
Maybe one
Also,
day I'll
just-
play Quake.
The other issue I had when I
Quake's
tried
fun.
modding Quake 1 was I couldn't find the folder where the map files are stored. They didn't exist, it just wasn't a thing in the files.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure they either made the game use a different layout for the map files, or just added them into the exe file.
But, Dennis, if you want to get Quake, it is only like $10. And
Oh,
it has
yeah, it's my
crossplay, so it doesn't
favorite.
matter which version you get, we'd all be able to play together.
It's my favorite Nine Inch Nails album.
Oh yeah, that's one benefit of the new version, is they actually got back the copyright for the Nine Inch Nails music. So
Trent Reznor did the
Wait,
soundtrack.
other versions didn't have the Trent Reznor scored soundtrack?
No,
The
no-
original
no digital
release
release.
of Quake had the Trent Reznor soundtrack. The problem is it used Red Book audio. Future digital versions of Quake removed that soundtrack because they were cracked versions, and since they didn't have the CD, they couldn't stream the audio, thus the soundtrack was missing. The new release of Quake actually integrates the soundtrack into the game rather than it being streamed from the disc. Because
And
the
they were
issue
also
was Red Book audio. It was not a licensing issue. It was just the audio was being streamed from the disc in real time.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be a licensing issue because it was an original score made for the game. It wasn't like, oh, they licensed Nine Inch Nails tracks or something. He did the soundtrack, so it wasn't like it wouldn't be licensed.
Yeah, any
makes
game
sense.
that uses
That
Red
makes
Book
sense.
audio has that issue, which is why a lot of
see.
DOS games that are on Steam don't have the original soundtrack. Funnily enough, I have a DOS game on disc that has the reverse issue. I have Descent 2. It has Red Book audio. I have the music, but I don't have any sound effects.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have a disc drive anymore, and I ended up buying the Steam version of Descent 2, so I don't know if that's been fixed or not. I have been told I need to play Descent.
one of my Also, yes, Descent is good. One of my first playthroughs of Quake 1 was on my 2003 XP computer, and since I didn't have a soundtrack on it, I just put in the nearest music CD I could find, which was the Shantae soundtrack.
Oh my god.
So I was playing Quake 1 with the Shantae soundtrack.
Which
The gold
Shantae,
edition.
may I ask?
The gold edition of 4.
Okay. That would be Half Genie Hero?
Yeah.
Okay, that's... I was playing Quake and you're... They say the land's full of danger. I need to
That
stream
jump sound
Shantae
effect
games.
lives rent free in my head.
What soundtrack?
The jump sound effect.
Do you guys remember the Sex Ed Beavis and Butthead meme that was going around?
Yeah.
There's a version of it where all the body parts names are replaced with sound effects from Boomer Shooters. So it's the Quake jump, the Doom and Wolfenstein Interact sounds, something from Unreal, Duke Nukem saying Balls of Steel, and the Postal Dude saying Butt Sauce.
Dennis, what happened there?
I just kind of I used some. I had a mushroom and I kind of overshot.
Someday we'll get a port of the good version of Wolfenstein 3D. Because for some reason the 3DO version of Wolfenstein 3D is actually a remake, and it's really good.
Interesting. I didn't know about the 3DO version. Finally, a 3DO game that's actually good.
It's considered the best version of Wolfenstein 3D. Like, genuinely.
I almost
I would also like
considered
to
getting a
see
3DO at some
Wolfenstein
point.
game.
I kind of want to get one just because they're cool looking.
They have no
And I like
copyright
the
protection.
model design. Yeah, you can just try. The thing is you have to have a CD burner that burns at the right speed, otherwise the games won't run.
I've told you about my bootleg copy of Quake for Dreamcast, yeah? The one that I burned myself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Doesn't it not save?
No, because an issue with a lot of homebrew games on Dreamcast is they can't get the save files down, so you need an entire VMU dedicated to the game.
Yeah.
Because the save files are uncompressed. Half-Life Dreamcast has that issue. You need either a high-capacity VMU in order to save other things to it, or you need an entire VMU just for the game.
I have the, one of the better solutions for some of that stuff is the official Sega non-VMU memory card, because it's actually 4 memory cards strapped together. It has a button on the top where you can just straight up switch memory cards, and they're all like full-sized.
I'll have to look into that. By the way, if you guys
really-
want to play Half-Life
they're expensive,
Dreamcast,
but-
just play the PC port of it, because someone ported the Dreamcast content into a mod of Half-Life on PC.
Yeah, someone did that for the PS2 version as well, which actually has a co-op campaign.
So
That
I
was
gotta
fun
bug
co-op.
out for a moment to go take care
Okay.
of the birds.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, so let's just wait here for Zeno.
bathroom.
Blue is still in the lobby, so he's going to be sitting here wondering what we're doing.
I'll just break off, and then you guys can continue.
Okay, good. That gets rid of the
I
guy
was
with the
gonna
crown.
be right back to you.
Wait, Simki, are you leaving?
Yeah, maybe we could do it.
Yeah, I'm
real
gonna go to the
quick,
bathroom.
I suppose.
Alright, well, okay.
I'll still be here though.
Alright, well, I guess we're waiting for Simki.
BRB.
Dennis, you really gotta, like, introduce me to Blue so I can actually, like, coordinate this stuff with him.
I'm gonna toss it out once, like, hey, you can always join us in like a game night thing, but
Well, I mean, like, I want to actually friend him on Discord. Because I feel like we have an understanding with each other. Given all the games of Splatoon and Mario Kart we've done together. Wow, my dashboard stream is way behind. I am dead serious. Like, I will only play Resident Evil 5 and 6 if I do them through co-op. Because I have no interest in the games otherwise, but I've heard they are very good co-op games.
yeah, I've had no interest in. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I've had vague interest in doing Resident Evil 5 because I'm like, I remember playing the demo a bunch back in the day, and I'm like, why didn't I never just pick this game up? And I could totally get it.
So yeah,
And
don't get a
that would give me a
version.
reason to actually pick it up.
Don't get a version until I look up if I can actually get it running on the Steam Deck. Because we'll probably just go for that version. If not, there is the Switch version, which I've heard is good. But, yeah, I'll talk to you about that after stream. And we can probably do that for a regular stream instead of Saturday. If you have the time, of course.
Mm. The most recent review on Steam for that is like Left 4 Dead 2, but it's not Left 4 Dead 2.
So then why compare it? Well, since I have a moment, I'm actually going to compare, or check them right now. Resident Evil 5, Proton DB. It's got a gold rating. Oh, I can hear Bandit in the background. Ew, the PC version is Games from Windows Live for RE5.
Yeah, I'm catching that right now
Okay.
in some of the comments. And yeah, it's a port of the Games of Windows Live version.
Alright, what about Resident Evil 6? Oh, that's verified.
I guess it's RE6.
To make the cutscenes work, it is necessary to install Windows Media Player 11.
For Resident Evil 5?
For 6.
They used Windows
What is-
Media Player to run their cutscenes? What?
What is wrong with these two games?
Okay, well,
I
I guess that rules
I
out the
haven't-
Steam versions.
Well, your other bets for that series are the remakes on Switch, I guess.
They're actually just straight ports. They're not even
Or the
upscaled.
ports. Yeah. The
But
Xbox
I would
One
assume that they're
PS4.
ports that work.
From what I know, they are good versions of the game. Or games.
Yeah.
They work, the online is good, the co-op's good, controls are tight. They work as they should.
That's kind of whack. That both
Which
5 and 6
would make
are kinda
sense because they're
busted on PC.
ports of like 10-year-old games.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is one of the reasons why I don't fully like PC gaming, because there's always little weird quirks like that and defunct services and whatnot.
Because of Windows updates, I can't actually run SCP Containment Breach anymore.
I was never able to run it correctly in the first place because the text kept flickering.
Yeah, mine just crashes if I try to run it at a resolution above 800 by 700.
And keep in mind, whatever
have to
bullshit
run
you
it
guys
in
need to deal with,
60
I have
mode.
to deal with even more because I'm on Linux. I have to go through hoops to get some of these things to work.
Did they ever finish SCP Containment Breach?
I believe they
Containment
did,
Breach
and
is
there's
always
also
fun.
mods that expand on it. I know Whiskey Dingo streamed like 2 or 3 different mods of it. I would love to play it, but the thing is, I don't actually think I'd enjoy it. I think I enjoy watching it more than I would actually playing it.
I do enjoy the multiplayer versions of SCP stuff that people have made.
There's
There's both versions in Gary's mod, which it sadly no longer gets like any servers with any players on. But I think it was like 2-3 years ago. I played it a bunch on Gary's mod. It was just called Breach, and now no one ever runs that. It's just SCP roleplay servers now, and I'm like, really?
Ugh. Oh, speaking of SCP, Dennis, look into
Coincidentally, I was an administrator on an SCP roleplay server around that same time because of that.
look into SCP Endurance Test. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's clone with the SCPs.
Oh, that one.
It includes the
It's
old
pretty
man.
good.
Thank you,
Old
Zeno.
Man, Shy Guy, Meatball.
The
Peanut,
old man, Peanut, Eric's toy, the doctor.
The weird door. The one that leads to the forest. I forget its SCP name.
I don't remember the
I
door.
don't- I
There's
don't
also
know.
the
I don't
teddy
really
bear,
remember.
and I forget what
I do
else.
play SCP Secret Laboratory though, which is basically the same thing as the
Yeah.
Breach game mode on Gary's mod, but still updated and actually has players, and they still make new stuff for it.
All right, so Zeno,
Yeah.
Simki went to the bathroom right when you left, and he didn't leave the game, so we had to wait for him, and then we forgot what we were doing, and we're just talking.
Nice.
Alright, I'm sorry now. Yeah, because I was... if Dennis and I are going to play RE5 and 6 together, we have to do it on Switch. Because RE5 has games for Windows Live.
Yeah.
And RE6, in order to get the cutscenes to work, you have to install Windows Media Player 11.
What the fuck?
Because
Gaming.
Windows Media Player to run it to play its cutscenes because it was originally an Xbox game
At
mainly.
least-
Now, keep in
At
mind,
least there's
that's
not
what
a-
it said
a
for...
VLC media player.
That's what it said for Proton, which is what I have to use to get it working on the Steam Deck or my laptop. The thing is, I can almost guarantee it's still an issue on Windows, since I am running Windows games through Proton. So
Yeah.
I have to work around whatever bullshit is already in the game.
The video issue for 6 wouldn't be a problem on Windows for obvious reasons, but games for Windows Live is always an issue no matter what.
Well, the service is
People can-
literally fucking dead. You can't even load anything that uses it.
Yeah, people literally couldn't play Fallout 3's official PC port for the longest time because it used games for Windows Live.
And then Bethesda actually included instructions on how to patch it out.
Yeah, and recently, like, I think 2 years ago, they actually updated the game to finally remove it.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
I
wow.
replayed Fallout 3
By the way,
like sometime like late last year, and I had no issues with it. I just had it on Steam.
Yeah.
do you want to
Another
know what's
game
really
that-
frustrating? Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection on Steam
Oh no.
required games for Windows Live. After the service
Oh,
died,
why?
they delisted the game and relisted a separate version without it. Guess who has the original
Why?
version that can't be played?
You.
The motherfucker who's streaming right now.
Fuck.
They didn't just give you a new version.
No, I have to rebuy the game that I already own.
That's
God, I hate
unusual. Unusual.
No,
greedy,
that's
and
Warner
annoying.
Brothers. That is the exact kind of bullshit I
Oh,
expect
there you
out
go.
of them.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
Speaking
like,
of Warner
there's
Brothers,
been games that have had that happen, and I
Big
expect
F
it
to
have
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Oh, what happened?
Well,
I know.
it's
Oh,
going to have
wait,
a battle
isn't it-
pass. It's going to have cosmetics, always online and single player. There's gear scores, and for some reason, Harley Quinn uses regular guns instead of something that actually fits her. So does King Shark.
That's really weird.
Yeah, keep in mind, in the comics, the only guns Harley Quinn ever uses are toys that have
Yeah,
been
Harley
modified to
Quinn
be lethal. In the game,
doesn't
she
use
uses regular guns, and she has no melee weapons.
What? Her
And
hammer
King
is, like,
Shark
one of
in the
main
comics
things.
doesn't even use guns.
I mean,
I get
DC's
giving
been,
King Shark some weapons for a multiplayer game like that, because I feel like he'd be pretty unpopular if he was melee only.
Well, true,
DC,
but, I mean, that doesn't change the other problems.
Yeah, that's still other problems.
Sorry, Dennis is trying to say
DC has
something.
had DC has had a problem since like the early 2000s ended, where they just completely misunderstand why people like their properties in the first place,
Yeah.
because they just keep consistently getting more out of touch in terms of like what people like. And then we get
Teen Titans
things
Go.
like, yeah, then we get things like that. Batman using guns and being edgy in Batman versus Superman.
Literally any of the
Jesse
DC characters
Jesse
in
Eisenberg
Fortnite.
is Lex Luthor.
Jared Leto is the Joker, trying to look like
Jared Leto,
Takeshi
yeah,
6ix9ine.
Jared Leto's the Joker. Like everything about Man of Steel.
I saw that in theaters with you.
The Batman
I was there for
Killing
that.
Joke, the Batman Killing Joke animated movie existing.
What was wrong with that? I thought that one was supposed to be pretty good.
There's a lot wrong with that adaptation.
Okay, I hadn't
but
heard
it-
much about it. Also, UJS says, man, this Mario Kart is looking pretty advanced. Yeah, we went through all the tracks in Mario Kart Super Circuit and decided to switch to Mario Kart 8.
The Batman Killing Joke animated movie is like okay when it's directly adapting stuff from like the comic, but they add weirdly an entire romance subplot between, you guessed it, Batman and Batgirl.
That didn't need to be there. That wasn't even in the original comic. That
Random.
there was never a romance between them because Batman was always into Catwoman. That was the whole dynamic between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
He only ever loved Catwoman. Barbara Gordon is like half his age.
Yeah, no.
Really
That's
weird.
that's like the weakest part of that film.
It's like the
and
fucking
people don't-
Silent Hill 2012 movie adding a relationship between Heather and one of the cult members.
People do
Ew.
not understand why they decided to make this choice. It was so bad.
Yeah, I don't remember which one specifically. It was like the younger cult member that helps Heather out.
Oh God, what's his name? It's probably the one. It's supposed to be the one from the game.
It is. It's confirmed. He has the same name.
Yeah, I mean, like he kind of implies he's attracted to Heather, but not in a sexual way. He's just interested in her because of what she is.
They put a whole romance subplot in the 2012 movie with them.
Well, from what I
And
know,
Heather's
none of
still
the
supposed to be
Silent Hill
17 in
movies
the
are
2012
particularly
movie.
good. Also, Jay, we did kind of breeze through it, but the game was also having some issues. All three of us have sensitive eyes to what was going on in Super Circuit. Dennis didn't, so he wasn't the one complaining about that.
I didn't, but I sucked at the controls, so...
Yeah,
There was
I was
that.
basically winning everything because I was the only one who'd been playing the game recently.
I did okay. I did better than I thought I would for a outdated racer on a handheld.
I mean, like,
Yeah, it's still okay.
I don't know if I'll ask you guys to do that much in the future, but I just wanted to do it once because I never got to do it as a kid.
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm just not
I'm always down to play weird
particularly
shit
good at it.
online.
I was impressed with the GBA Online, though. Despite the slowdown we occasionally got, there was, like, no lag whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, I am
It's
very
really solid.
impressed with the online.
Oops.
Especially when I think two of us aren't on a wired connection. Unless Simke's on a wired connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know Dennis isn't.
Oh, yeah.
On what?
A wired connection.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying you're not.
another random games with Windows Live thing. Was a Lost Planet 2. That game just cannot run on any PC anymore. Not because of games from Windows Live only. Its requirements are actual requirements. You need to have specifically a 4-core CPU with a 2070 RTX.
Oh,
I think a
okay.
version of an i7 Intel Core. It literally requires you to have those system settings, or it will not run.
Thank you, Capcom.
It was a bug that
kinda
popped up
ridiculous.
later after they stopped supporting the game too. So literally the only version you can play now is the 360 and PS3. But yeah, games for Windows Live is just another issue to add on top of that game of, needing you to specifically have what it wants.
This is part of the reason why I was turned off from PC gaming for so long. When you buy a console game, it's
Yeah.
at least guaranteed to work the first time you run it.
Oh yeah, that's always been my thing too. Is PC is obviously it's much better hardware, graphically, and just other stuff. But if I buy a console game, as long as the game itself functions, I can just pop it in the system, and it
Yep.
turns on,
Yeah,
and I can play it.
I don't hate PC gaming because in my early years as a gamer, I did play a fair amount of PC gaming. I mean, I've gushed about Humongous Entertainment's games for a while. I even did a stream with them. But, like, my problem with PC gaming is if I want to play one single game, I have to dedicate at least 2 hours of research beforehand to ensure I can actually get it
Yeah.
working. And that was
you're on
before I was on Linux.
Yeah, it took me, when I first got Quake 1, it took me 2 hours to get it actually running because a lot of the source ports just didn't want to work on my computer. And the DOS version was bugging the hell out and not running how it should have been.
Yeah, PC gaming is incredibly frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I think, yes, Elden Ring, for some reason, for me, even on the lowest settings, Elden Ring just lags randomly, literally just freezes for a few seconds.
Do you want to know something, like, absolutely insane?
Yeah.
The Steam Deck runs on Arch Linux, which is a very weird and very unstable flavor of Linux that also happens to be extremely easy to put on almost any piece of hardware. Somehow, despite the Steam Deck running Arch Linux and a resource-intensive user interface called KDE Plasma slapped over it, it is the most stable PC I have ever used in my entire life.
Weird.
So I would actually genuinely recommend it for gaming hardware, as long as you're trying as long as you're not trying to get max settings out of brand new games.
Yeah.
It runs Hi-Fi Rush. It'll be at like 30 FPS, but it runs Hi-Fi Rush.
Damn. Yeah, I'm like, plus one thing with consoles too is you can just get a very stable gameplay out of them, unlike the totally legal way of playing it on a real system on PC.
Yeah, even if you have a totally real way of playing it on a legal system on a PC, you can still have issues for like one specific game, and you have to get a totally legit European copy for your totally legit American console to play it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm specifically criticizing Klonoa 2 on a totally legit PS2. Because the American version does not work, but the PAL version does for some reason.
Odd. I didn't know the totally legit PS Vita on PC only is compatible with 10% of the PS Vita library.
So JS says, man, that seems rough. You guys have hardware issues. I mean, I built my rig like 4-ish years ago and generally didn't have problems that bad. Yeah, I can't speak for Dennis, but the rest of us here are not really PC gamers. We all game on PC, but none of us, I don't think any of us have actually built our own. I know Dennis at one point got a laptop that was identical to my old laptop based on my suggestion years ago.
I do want to upgrade to a newer laptop at some point because mine's starting to fall behind. Just specs wise, I'm having a lot of trouble running things in Windows 11. It's definitely not helping.
God, not Windows 11.
Well, the funny thing about the Steam Deck is that since it's consistent hardware for the device, any developer who targets a Steam Deck, which is actually a fair amount of developers, actually has consistent hardware to aim for, which means that there's less variation they have to account for. I mean, Simki, Cat Volts, the game she's working on, she's actually targeting the Steam Deck's hardware and using that as a base.
And it's a good baseline. It's a mid-range PC.
It is. Very good mid-range PC, I might add.
Yeah, the thing that determines if I actually upgrade or not is whether or not some the new line of Omen laptops this year has some the 4080 card in it, or the 40 series NVIDIA cards in it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about NVIDIA cards. I just know. I judge a graphics card based on what games it can run. That's the only way I can judge it, because I don't know what it means otherwise.
The 40 line is the newest NVIDIA card, so they can run anything, really.
Is the market still fucked because of crypto?
A little bit. I don't think it's as bad.
Well, crypto's kind of like
completely
dying.
It's still because of inflation.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not inflation, funnily enough, because the price of the dollar, the power of the dollar hasn't changed. Everyone's just price gouging all at once, because once some people start doing it, everyone else has to in order to compete.
It's all started with the darn eggs.
Like, I'm being dead serious. We are not in inflation.
There's a avian flu going around that hit a lot of chicken farms and stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of why eggs skyrocketed in price.
Anyone who's telling you it's inflation is lying, because it's literally just price gouging.
Yeah.
People invented a problem so they could make the Biden administration look bad for something that they didn't even do. Just like all these companies that say nobody wants to work anymore aren't actually hiring anyone who's trying to get a job.
Yeah.
One guy in the South applied to 50 businesses that had put up signs saying nobody wants to work anymore, heard back from 3 of them and was rejected by all 3. He was overqualified. And he outright told them, "You guys say nobody wants to work. I want to work. Why won't you hire me?"
It's because they want underqualified people, so they can pay them less. Because if you have someone who's overqualified, usually you'd pay them more.
Yeah. They also don't like it when an employee has nothing to do. You know what's really funny? You know how Japan has people who will literally work themselves until they pass out? Do you want to know what's really fucking weird about that? In Japan, if you finish all your work and have nothing to do, that's seen as a good thing, because it means you're an efficient worker. If you fall asleep while you're at work, that means you're working hard, so nobody will bother you.
Yeah, like, it's a really backwards thing in America that, like, if you have nothing to do, that's a bad thing. Because if you have nothing to do, that means you're done. You finished everything they wanted you to do.
So then they give you someone else's work, so that way... And you don't get paid more for it. That's what happened to my sister. She quit one of her jobs because they were giving her other people's work because she was working too quickly. They promised her a raise, and they basically cock-teased her with a raise for months, and then never gave it to her. When she finally asked about it, they started talking about laying her off.
Wow. Yeah, American companies are hellish. Always big corporations.
And don't get me started about retail. I have never worked retail. There is a reason I have never worked retail. The least of your problems is the general public.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we can do maybe 2 or 3 more runs.
We should have enough time for at least 2.
Alright, so sorry I'm a bit late on catching up on messages, chat. DJ says, "That's good, at least I don't think my 1060 can really just handle anything newer if devs keep making stuff require better hardware." Oh yeah, like, that's the other thing. Some devs are trying to push the hardware in ways that are really unnecessary.
Yeah.
Some devs. The majority of devs are doing that.
They're pushing the systems way too hard.
And for the love of God, optimize your goddamn, like, storage.
I mean, did you fucking hear about the Forspoken requirements?
I saw them and I forgot.
To run the game at 30
ridiculous.
FPS at 1920 by 1080, you need to have a fucking 3080 with 16 gigabytes of RAM for 30 FPS, non-4K.
I'm assuming that card is like
The 3080
several
is
hundred, if not almost $1,000.
no, it's gone down in price. It's like a $500 card now. The actual one, to get 4K graphics out of it, you need a 4090, if I remember correctly, which is the like $1,400 card, 32 gigabytes of RAM, like pretty much the best Intel CPU you can get, and that's for 60 FPS 4K. You literally need the best hardware you could possibly buy right now to run that game at 60 FPS.
Also, if I have to hear another guy in a suit excitedly talk about God rays and ray tracing and all that other bullshit, I am going to start plucking hairs until I'm bald.
Ray tracing is a good tool. Emphasis on tool. It is not good just exclusively running off of ray tracing. It looks terrible, in my opinion.
I want developers to be paid more money to work less hours to make shorter games with worse graphics, and I'm not joking. I am tired of samey, hyper-realistic AAA open-world games that have 100 hours of content where 90 of the hours are filler. I am tired of picking up lore all over the place that adds nothing because I can't be bothered to give a damn about all the characters who just look like people I pass by on the street who have nothing interesting to offer me other than another collectible to add to my list to finish a screen.
Well, if you're tired of open world games, have you tried the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV?
I am going to fucking beat you with a hammer.
With a free trial up to level 60 that includes the award-winning expansion Heavensward?
Dennis, how many times have you rehearsed that?
None at all, and I've probably not recited it perfectly, but it gets the job done.
Okay, honestly though, I have been somewhat tempted to play it. I do not have time to
Final
dedicate
Fantasy
myself to
14,
another
we're playing it a
MMO.
bunch.
Yeah.
I
I'm
already
gonna
don't
share
play
that.
Warframe or RuneScape much anymore. I don't have the time to dedicate to another MMO, and if I was going to, it would have been Elder Scrolls Online, and I couldn't even get into that.
My main issue with FF14 is just the fact that it's a subscription service.
That too. I'm not too fond of subscriptions.
Me neither. Like, if I spend $60 for your DLC, I kind of want to own the game.
Soro says get coconut mold. I can't believe no one's picked Merry Mountain yet. Wait, no, we did Merry Mountain already. Shit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I get a repeat here.
But yeah, like,
Yeah, that's
I love
Modern
video
game.
games. The modern video game industry is so fucking exhausting.
Hey. Like, there's a bunch of good modern video games, even like some really good AAA stuff.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Dead Space remake, Hi-Fi Rush, yeah. Since a lot of companies are starting to get a bit more experimental.
I miss when video games were allowed to be weird.
Yeah, like, and it's kind of coming back because a lot of indie titles. I mean, just from the trailer, I watched a Pizza Tower. That game looks absolutely insane, and I already really want to
It
play
is unhinged in the best way possible.
It's a Wario Land like style game too, which we haven't seen yet from like any indie dev for some reason.
I'm still waiting for someone to make a tribute to Metroid Prime's scanning mechanic.
Yeah,
I am shocked that never caught on.
Wait, what mechanic?
The scan mechanic.
You have
Yeah.
to describe it to me because I haven't really played the Metroid Prime games.
You
yet.
lock onto something and scan it to get information.
Yeah, it gives you lore, like how you
Gives
can
you
fight
hints on
them.
how to fight the bosses. There's a lot of stuff. That's how
I mean,
it...
that's
Yeah.
used in games. That's used in games.
Well, no. I want to see a
Not
game
Metroid
that
Prime.
uses it as a main mechanic, because in Metroid Prime, that's actually used for
okay.
more than just all that, because that's also how you unlock things, and open pathways, and disable things.
Yeah,
I want to see a horror game that uses
Basically,
it.
your only way of gathering information in the
I mean,
game is scanning
New
stuff and reading about it.
Yeah.
I mean, new Pokemon Step. Someone does that.
Okay,
Not
but
really
like,
much.
actually, can we also get more games like New Pokemon Snap? I want a game where you take pictures of birds.
Uh,
that would be
I'm
good.
trying to think. No, I've definitely seen stuff that like had used that kind of thing as like a mechanic, though. Actually,
Well, the way Metroid Prime's work is a bit different. because
Definitely
you
not
have
in the way
specific-
Metroid Prime does
Yeah.
it. Though.
Like, Dennis,
Yeah, but specific
just
scanning
play
mode.
Metroid Prime.
Also, yeah, play Metroid Prime.
It's on Switch now. You
It's
have no more. You have no more
really
excuses. Play
fucking good.
Metroid Prime.
I wonder if you would. I don't really know if it's a good comparison because I don't really fully know how it functions. But I
Then you
wonder
should play
if
Metroid
if it's somewhat comparable to the fact that like a lot of the gameplay of Outer Wilds is
Well, no, don't say
Translating
anything. Don't
text.
say anything.
it's not.
I don't want to know anything. I'm streaming it next week. I want to go in blind.
I guarantee you. Well, it's just-
Do not
there's a
do not
mechanic
say
in there.
anything. I am asking you to not say anything about Outer Wilds because I don't want to know.
Okay, I don't. Just as someone who's I'm not saying anything, but like as someone who's beaten the game, there are things that you can definitely know that isn't really like a this gets in the way of the experience kind of thing. Because I feel like sometimes people are a bit too tight on not knowing anything.
I
about
specifically
Outer
do not
Wilds.
want to know
It's just
anything.
in terms of yeah, like
So
there's some things
I would
probably
appreciate it
people
if you
like-
stop trying to tell me whatever it is you're trying to tell me for right now.
No, I'm not. I'm just
Okay.
saying that you don't need to feel that like knowing anything is necessarily a bad thing. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, because I don't even know what the gameplay looks like. I have not looked up anything about it. I am going in
Well, the
completely
gameplay
blind.
is-
All I know is it made several people I'm friends with cry.
WASD makes you move.
Oh my god, the whole experience has been ruined. How could you do this?
There
to me?
is space. There is space.
I know too much. I can no longer play it.
Mouse
Or like
looks-
Loki though, that's a weird thing that I've noticed where like people who have played the game trying to get other people into the game but have this whole gatekeepy like I can't tell you
Yeah.
this. I can't. And it's like, no, there's things you can tell people to get them interested in the game without spoiling plot or game progression.
Yeah, I've seen that online a few times where someone was asking about like the game and everyone was just like completely ignoring the fact that they asked something and just like you should play the game.
they're just like, no, don't look anything up, just play. I'm like, you can maybe throw a bone and give them things about the game that they might be interested in, because you could talk about gameplay, you can talk about setting. You don't have to talk about where the plot. You don't have to talk about where the plot goes. But like, there's a lot of things you could talk about that game that really are apparent within the first 5 minutes of you playing, because it's just basic, like, oh, this is what the game is about, kind of stuff. And people don't even want to say that, and it's like, why not? That's like basic setup that you could get someone interested in. Because the game has really good early game hooks to get you interested in playing the game.
Yeah.
And so many people just don't want to just say things. I'm like, sure, if you say like something like the end sequence, then yeah, you're a jerk for spoiling the game, but you could tell people basics.
Well, to answer your question of if it's similar to Metroid Prime, play Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Dennis, I've been trying to get you to play the damn game for years, and you kept going, oh, but I don't want to get it on the Wii U, I just want to play it. Well, it's on Switch now, so fucking play it already.
Where's Metroid Prime 2 and 3, huh?
If
Supposedly they're
the
coming.
rumors are true, they are coming, they just won't be remasters.
Yeah.
Wow,
They'll just be HD
pre-order
ports.
canceled.
But, like, seriously, play Metroid Prime. It's my game of the year already. I don't care what else comes out this year. Metroid Prime Remastered is my game of the year.
Metroid
Oh, I
Prime
should have
is
saved that
literally
horn.
one of the best Metroid games. It's up there with Dread and Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime
But can
is
you
one of the
save
few
or kill the
games I would
animals?
consider perfect.
Another weird genre that I kind of want to see come back is the weird experimental Wii horror games with, like, just really random gimmick ideas.
Can we get Silent Hill
Not
Shattered
totally
Memories
right.
without the ties to Silent Hill, so I don't have to see the shitty remaster or redone story?
There's one
If you ignore the redone
Wii
story,
horror
it's
game.
decent. It also is probably one of the best looking Wii games.
I forget the name of it, but there's this one Wii horror game that I looked into a while back because I was interested in it, and then I looked up the price, and it's like $300 fucking dollars.
What game is it?
I forget the name of it. I'd have to
You
look it
remember
up
the
again.
premise?
But
It's not Lonely Mountain, is it?
no,
The
What
calling,
kind of game was it?
or just
I-
calling.
I think it takes place like in a abandoned amusement park, or part of it takes place in an abandoned amusement park in like Tokyo or something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Forget the name of it. I have it written down somewhere.
Did a
Hill
certain
3
horror
and-
VTuber talk about it or stream it, Xeno?
No,
Okay.
she did not.
The only thing I can think of for that is a Dreamcast game, which is definitely not it.
Well, what comes to mind for me is Carnival, and that's definitely not it, because that's an arcade light gun game. I don't even think that's been ported to consoles, like, ever. Honestly, though, about video games being weird, I just always think of Katamari. Because the Katamari games are uniquely weird. Speaking of, can we talk about how that Nintendo Direct, the most recent one, was made for me specifically, and no one else?
They just really said Snorkel Cat HD.
Yep. Because, like, okay.
I can't believe that. I can't believe they're actually remastering We Love Katamari. I'm so happy about that.
The reason why I say
Yeah.
that Direct was made for me specifically is, number one, We Love Katamari. That's one of my all-time favorite games. That is my main comfort game. I always play that when I'm sad or upset. I've been wanting to get into the Etrian Odyssey games for years. I never got around to doing it. I was obsessed with Fantasy Life at some point and did not expect to see that back. Pikmin 4 is bringing back the caves and treasures from Pikmin 2, which was my favorite thing about the game, and Pikmin 2 is one of my favorite games. Metroid Prime Remastered. Just all of that.
And also basically the confirmation that Prime 4 does exist, because Prime Remastered was one of the parts of that.
Yep.
Yep.
I
God,
still
what
think
else
there's
was
a
in the
very,
Direct? 'Cause
very
there's
high
definitely
chance
more.
that in June, or at least at the end of the year, we will probably see Metroid Prime 4.
That's what
If
I'm
not
thinking.
just a
This is
trailer.
the year. If we
If
don't,
Metroid Prime 4 does not feature Silux as the antagonist, then they did something wrong.
they have been leading up to Silux for so long.
But like,
Which one?
what's the why
Alex
why
again?
focus on a boring character like that when you could focus on the best antagonist, Ravenbeak?
Silux is from Prime Hunters.
Oh, him, yeah. I thought that was
Yeah,
something
he's from
familiar.
Prime Hunters, and it was confirmed that in the secret ending of Prime 3, it's Silux's ship that's stalking Samus. And in
he's the,
Metroid Prime Federation Force, in that game's secret ending, Silux steals the baby Metroid.
Yeah, Silux is the only character you didn't actually manage to kill in Hunters.
You know,
Yep.
I think it would be very funny if plot developments from Federation Force were very important to understanding the plot of Metroid Prime 4.
Well, I mean, it would just be the secret ending by itself, which means that's all you need to watch.
Yeah, but that'd still be funny.
Well, everybody's seen it because nobody played the game. They just looked it
I
up.
mean,
Yeah.
that'd be something like, I don't know, the Kingdom Hearts mobile game being plot relevant.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well,
That's the
no,
entire
what's worse than
part
that
of
is
the
the
Kingdom
Nier
Hearts games.
Automata stage play that was only in like
God, yeah,
theaters
that's
for like
funny.
2 weeks. That's plot relevant. Though that may have been
The
Yoko
current
Taro
plot
being
of Kingdom
himself
Hearts
because
makes
he's
no sense
insane.
without the mobile game.
Silux being the main villain would also make sense, considering how powerful he is. I mean, it's hard to tell, but in the opening scene for Prime Hunters, he massacres an entire platoon of, like, the Earth Federation.
You guys want to do one
Soldier.
more set of races and then call it there?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
I know it probably won't happen, but I would like to see a port of Prime Hunters.
They could
Maybe
at least
some
port the
multiplayer.
multiplayer. Because that was the best part.
Yeah,
Prime
that-
Hunters'
that-
multiplayer is the best
that's-
FPS on the DS. It's actually really, really fucking good for no reason.
yeah, it's fast-paced, fun, the characters are cool, albeit some of them are completely OP. The sniper character's funny because he can just one-shot headshot you anywhere he wants and can see through walls.
Lamau.
Oh, wonderful.
And cloak. And it's good cloak, too. You can't see, like, ripples or anything.
Ooh, that was a weird sound.
Also, I found the game I was talking about. It's not actually a horror game, but it does have horror elements. It's called Fragile Dreams Farewell Ruins of the Moon.
I have
It's a
never
weird
heard
ass
of that.
name,
Moon's
but
haunted.
it's like $200.
What,
Jeez.
Dennis?
Moon's haunted.
Hawk Shotgun.
There's some horror games out there that are, like, obscure and not even, like, that good most of the time, but they're just super expensive for some reason.
Rule of
Like
Rose.
Rule
Oh,
of
like
Rose.
Rule of Rose, Kodelka.
Ju-on the Grudge.
Yep. I
Like,
think
Ju-on the Grudge is absolutely terrible. Like, I'd probably put it up there in, like, top 20 worst Wii games.
God, not
Is it
Lost
better or
Child,
worse
but-
than the Alone in the Dark Wii game?
Worse. So,
How?
Ju-on the Grudge is a first-person Wii game. With... It's fully 3D. It's, you know, it's first person. Can you guess how you control this game?
How?
Oh god.
Is it tank
Can you guess
controls?
what the control scheme is?
Tank
What's the
controls.
game?
Not tank controls. No. Your only option is to hold the B button down to move forward.
What the?
You can't strafe. There's no strafing. There's no going backwards. Your only option is to go forwards. The maps aren't linear.
What?
Oh
You
yeah,
also can
there was
only
something... So, every console obviously has shovelware. There is something uniquely cursed about Wii shovelware.
Yeah, Wii shovelware is just really uniquely odd and strange and...
Ninja Bread Man. Which is apparently
Yeah.
one of like 5 3D platformers that are all identical with a different protagonist.
Yeah, there's Anubis 3D as well. 2 of them. There's one that has Elvis for some reason.
And if you know the
And then
name
another
Phoenix
Ninja Bread Man
Games, they
game.
did actually release some Wii games.
Yep. A Crazy Taxi ripoff called London Cabbie, where the actual taxi doesn't function properly and gets stuck in the floor.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Phoenix
Oh, the
Games
main mechanic.
proudly states on their website that their games are made in a couple months and do not have testing.
Yeah, they don't play test their games. And that's
They
a feature.
also made a bunch of games for a variety of platforms that
Is it a bug or
were...
a feature? Yes.
They made a bunch of games for a variety of platforms that were partnered with Dingo Pictures. Who's Dingo Pictures? They are a weird German company that makes bootlegs of Disney films. They are also the origin of the Yee meme.
Yee.
Yee. Yee.
Yee.
Fun fact, in
you
their
love that
Aladdin
meme.
ripoff, the voice actor for Aladdin reads the bit at the end of the script that says "end scene," and they left it in during a transition.
Yeah.
Saber Spark, the YouTuber, has a really great video on Dingo Pictures. Kid Icarus also has a video on 102 Dalmatians. Sorry, Dalmatians 2
no.
for PS2. I would highly recommend watching both of them because that is such a bizarre rabbit hole.
Yeah, Phoenix Pictures was...
Oh,
Or Phoenix Games was just super weird. The fact that they never got sued for any of it, too.
yeah, there's a bit in Dalmatians 2 where all the dogs are forced by another dog to make stickers or something in a factory, and the dog that's holding them hostage is like, this is literally what he says and how he says it. Lick and stick, lick and stick, lick and stick. There's just a pause for some reason.
The guy got stun locked.
Also, one of the greatest lines ever uttered in animation history. Is there something not in order?
Feel bad for anyone who got Phoenix Games stuff.
Shout out to this track and just the soundtrack for this game and this specific game in general. Super Nintendo Mario Kart having the same composer as Super Pilot Wings, and both soundtracks slap.
As just Pilot Wings, there's no super in the name.
Yeah. They don't have Super in the name. So I don't really know why.
Oh,
God
I
damn
guess
But
it was
yeah.
the first.
but yes.
Dennis, did you ever play Pilot Wings 64 on the N64? Yeah?
I watched you play it. I didn't play it myself.
Well, when I played it, I was playing it on my actual console, but the N64 app version is actually at 60 FPS, which
Yeah,
actually
that
breaks
breaks
the
the game.
Birdman minigame because you can't mash the A button fast enough to flap your wings.
Yeah.
Because it's tied to the frame rate. Thankfully, that minigame is optional and there's no score for it.
I love
Yeah.
when things in games are tied to things like that.
If you play
very
Quake
cool.
at a
But
higher
I also,
frame rate
but
than
I
the
also
game
don't,
can run
because
at,
then when they break, it's like, what the heck?
if you play Quake at a higher frame rate than the game can run at, the enemies will kill you in one hit because for some reason enemy damage is tied to the frame rate.
And Fallout has an issue too, where if you have the frame rate higher, doors can kill you.
GTA Vice City is not completable if you have frame rate unlocked, because you can't go fast enough in a car for like a specific jump that you need to make in a mission.
Yeah,
Or no, it's a boat. It's boat. It's not cars. It's boats. That's the issue.
I think the train
there's
mission
a
also
boat.
bugs out.
Yeah, it's like the.
Is there a train mission in Vice City?
No, it's San Andreas. But
Yeah,
the acceleration is like screwed in those games if you have unlimited frame rate, where it'll work fine if you like, it works fine until you notice that it doesn't, because like when you're playing normally you won't particularly see anything wrong, but then for me it was when playing Vice City, I hit a choke point in which there was a mission where I had to make a jump on a boat that I couldn't make, and I was like, what the heck, I'm hitting it as fast as I can on a straightaway, what's wrong with this? And it turns out that I was never actually accelerating as fast as I could, whether in a car or on a boat, because unlocking the frame rate screws the acceleration.
yeah. And it's a very common issue for games past or for games before 8th gen, just in general, is the game engine was usually tied to the frame rate, because if you're working with console, well, you were always going to have a consistent frame rate. So they were like, this is never going to be an issue. Why bother?
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, like Dead Space, all of them would have issues if you run them past 60, where the physics engine breaks. Fallout
Turn on
3,
VSync.
Donkey Kong 64 on N64, if I remember correctly, runs at 15 FPS. For some ungodly reason, the Wii U Virtual Console version runs at 16 FPS.
Yeah.
But Spike, I hear you cry. That's only a difference of a single frame. How can that matter?
Yeah.
Well, it's enough to completely desync the intro between the lyrics and the captions.
Yeah.
And one particular side game becomes impossible to complete because the timer moves faster. Because the timer is tied to the frame rate.
Yeah, so, like, the only game that really does frame rate tying still is, or I guess the entire company is Bethesda, because their engine is 30 years old.
In Monster Hunter Rise, the monster attack animations are actually tied to the frame rate. Their tracking is better on higher frame rates, so the game is actually harder on higher frame rates because the monsters are more easily able to hit you.
I play my Monster Hunter Rise on 10 FPS to avoid attacks easier.
I didn't play
Because the
Rise.
Switch version runs at 30 FPS, but the PC version, you can change the frame rate. You can lock it to 30, 60, 120, or unlimited. And if you have it set to 60 or higher, it becomes much harder to dodge certain attacks. And if you have it set to unlimited, certain attacks are literally undodgeable unless you have certain skills in the game, like evade window or evade extender.
Yeah, don't underestimate Xeno's knowledge of Monster Hunter.
A genuine issue with Fallout 76 when it came out, besides most of that game being a genuine issue, was when you looked down, you moved faster, because when you looked down, the frame rate got higher.
It's just a funny concept to me. Just imagine winning a triathlon because you're just looking down the whole time. So the world around you doesn't load in.
You can't uncap the frame rate, but the game itself still can run faster. So yeah, the game was, when you looked down, it deloaded everything around you because the culling. So you just only had the ground rendering, and you got like an extra 10 FPS.
That's
Why
fucking
is
ridiculous.
this conversation just randomly making me want to play Thrillville?
Well, because doesn't it run at like 2 FPS half the time?
Pretty much. Xeno, you sound muffled for some reason.
Do I?
Little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can understand you, it's just... I just noticed that you suddenly sound muffled.
It might just be my mic, and might also because I'm still congested from the damn surgery, so... Who knows?
Maybe. I should do Thrillville for a Sunday stream at some point. I did never finish the final park in it, so...
It would be fun.
Thrillville's not particularly, like, amazing, but it's a different kind of park sim. I still have the parts of the commercial stuck in my head every now and then.
I have the PSP version of Thrillville.
I played that version first.
The main problem is, though, is my copy doesn't have a UMD shell.
Oh.
It's just a disc. It came with one of my friends got it for me at a thrift store. It had its UMD case, but the case was cracked in half. So it was unusable, so I gotta dig out my backup UMD cases at some point to give it a case.
Yeah, I still remember the commercial for it. Make friends up, Chuck, heave guts, blow chunks, Thrillville, you're the master. It's funny.
Did Frontier Developments do Thrillville?
Yeah, they also did Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original Zoo Tycoon, Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution, Dog's Life, Wallace and Gromit in Project Zoo, Elite Dangerous.
Wait, they did Project Zoo.
Yeah,
They did Elite Dangerous?
yeah. They've been working on
Yeah.
the Elite franchise since Elite 3.
Can't wait for more Project Zoo because that game is absolutely, completely insane.
Zeno and Dennis, if you haven't already, you should really watch my VOD for it. I can send it to you guys later if you want. I'll be streaming
haven't
more of it
watched it
tomorrow,
yet.
and I'm hoping I can finish the game tomorrow.
I love how uncanny Wallace is.
Wallace should never have lighting.
Yeah, like it's genuinely kind of creepy when you just see him sitting in a dark corner, just endlessly stimming.
Yeah, the game isn't, like, terrible. Like, not completely terrible. It's not, like, really good either. It's just kind of painfully average. But there aren't many Wallace and Gromit games with it, and I'm more than willing to put up with it because I grew up with Wallace and Gromit, and I really do miss Peter Sallis. Speaking of, they're actually reviving Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
But Peter Sallis has been dead for a few years, so it'll be a different voice actor
I
for
have no
Wallace.
confidence.
And,
I
like,
just don't usually have confidence in reboots anymore.
yeah, and that's the thing, is that
Like, if it's good, it's good.
it's Aardman, so it's the same team, but without Peter Sallis, it's not Wallace.
Yeah.
They can't do Wallace and Gromit without Peter Sallis. It's just not the same. Because there is only one Wallace. But I
I'm just
adored
always
Wallace and Gromit as a kid. And also, that is it for stream.
Related.
So,
Like, Dead Space Remake being good was a shock to me. Like, actually.
especially with the
I mean-
Callisto Protocol being as mediocre as it is.
Yeah,
It
and
helps
literally
that
Dead Space
the-
Remake just shows how bad Callisto was.
Yeah, it helps that the team behind it were just very passionate about like doing right by the franchise, and the fact that when they made the very smart decision to have Isaac be voiced this time around, considering he was in 2 and 3, they just got the same dude who voice acted him in 2 and 3. So it just felt
Yeah.
like you're right at home rather than who's this guy voicing him now.
And they also wrote the story around, like, actually
Him being voiced,
matching in
yeah.
the Dead Space 2's plot.
Yeah, they made adjustments to make
secret-
it more better
like-
with 3 and the fact that Isaac's voiced.
Yeah, the new secret ending actually makes it mesh with 2 properly.
Also, the Callisto Protocol and... God, there was another spiritual successor that came out recently. What was the other one? Because Callisto Protocol wasn't the only one.
I don't remember. I don't think anyone really
Spiritual.
talked about it.
So what?
There was another spiritual successor that came out after the Callisto Protocol, but it prompted a Smash commentator to talk about how it seems like a lot of spiritual successors just end up being a worse version of what they're a successor to.
I don't know
Yeah.
what that would have been.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't
Callisto
remember.
Protocol having 5-second healing animations in the middle of combat, so you just can't heal in combat, because if you try and heal in combat, the enemies will rush you and hit you, stopping you from healing, beginning the 5-second animation again. You cannot attack or move while doing it.
The game's also tied to PUBG for some reason.
Yeah, that confuses me.
The thing that I don't understand is PUBG is so painfully generic, and they're trying to create some kind of gaming universe out of it. But PUBG is literally just we're shooting each other.
Yeah,
That's it. Fortnite
Well,
actually had a
not-
story and is actually trying to bring together the brands together for some reason. PUBG has nothing.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when a character gets added to Fortnite, they often get their own, like, version designs to fit Fortnite's art style.
Yeah, I mean, I have no love for Fortnite, but they at least have some semblance of cohesion.
Yeah, it has quality to it.
Apex Legends is pulling from Titanfall, and they have like intricate backstories for the characters.
That game's a
Overwatch
mess.
has a shitload of lore for its backstory and characters. PUBG has Neon Genesis Evangelion and the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, because the actual game has no story anywhere in it, because there isn't even, like, little lore things.
Do you know what this just reminds me of for some reason? Minecraft Story
What?
Mode.
Yeah, like just pulling random things out of nowhere to creating brand new like
I
mechanics.
forgot that was a thing.
I was actually
The
thinking about it
pig.
the other day. Like, Minecraft
pig death
has no
scene.
story. Minecraft story mode is not a Minecraft story. It's a story in Minecraft.
Yeah, and it can barely even be considered in Minecraft because the amount of unique things they just came up on their own with for it.
Also, can we talk about how there's supposed to be a really sad death scene with the pig dying, and the pig just turns into pork like in the game?
Yeah, I've literally never seen anyone get upset about that.
That is objectively like one of the funniest things in all of gaming media.
It's
Honestly,
supposed
the
to
one
be
of
a
the
very
funniest-
serious moment, but he just turns into an item like in the game, with the puff of smoke
Yeah.
and everything.
Into the pork.
God, the
One
other
of the
thing
more
funnier than
funnier
that to me is in Heavy Rain when you intentionally screw up all the QuickTime events in the supermarket chase. That is genuinely like peak comedy.
There's a few other moments in Minecraft Story Mode that are just really funny because you can also just kind of play the game as an absolute psychopath. There's one where you can actually just, like, once you have a main villain, like, defeated, you're on, like, a sky island, and you can actually just straight up, wordlessly, just drag him as he's kicking and screaming, begging you to stop, and throw him off a cliff
Good God.
in a Minecraft game.
I can't believe I can actually kill someone in Minecraft.
Yeah, like, literally dragging him by the legs, and you just toss him off a cliff.
In
Well, maybe you
Minecraft.
shouldn't have played the Hogwarts game.
Yeah, in
Throws him off
Minecraft.
cliff. In Minecraft.
There's another scene too where like some butcher's like looking at your pig, and one of the options is just to say nothing and draw your sword on him.
Cop him, smashes him with a mug. That's something from The Wolf Among Us. You just have a thing, a prompt where you
Glass
can
him.
cup him, and if you do that, you literally just take your mug and smash it over the guy's head.
It was glass him, but yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Amazing.
People thought that it meant offer him, a glass, or offer to buy him, a glass.
I've had
beer
enough
at a
of your
bar.
snide insinuations. Clang!
That's basically what happened.
God, I need to play Mass Effect. I need to get the trilogy. Because I was going to get that on PS4. I won't stream it because
Get
it's
the
an
trilogy.
RPG, but I really need to get it.
Yeah.
But I know about that scene with the reporter is you can tell her something. And it's just an innocuous thing you can say, but what Shepard does is he says, I've had enough of your snide insinuation, decks her, and there's a very loud clang as she hits the floor.
For that, to be fair, that one's actually just a conscious choice, though.
I know, but
you know what you're doing with that one.
I've seen this scene. The clang is just so
The clang
loud.
is
Funny.
Clang.
It's so much louder than the rest of the game.
Like, I feel like they amped up
higher
the...
than the next.
I feel like
the
they amped up the audio
audio
as a
level on that.
joke and then left it in because it was too funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna move to the other call for a moment. This was a good
Alright.
night.
Yeah.
Let's wait on deciding what we're doing next Saturday until later in the week, just in case the new DLC comes out.
Yeah. Let's talk about some more options for other stuff.
So, thank you guys for joining. I will see you after stream, I guess.
Yeah. See you.
There you go.
Okay. So, we are going to raid someone. That is not Twitch, that is YouTube. Let's see here. Do we have, like, internet issues or something? My browser's been loading things very slowly. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, my laptop's actually quite warm right now. That's not good. No, excuse me. Alright, well I know who we're gonna raid. Guys, I have not raided this person in a while, and they're playing Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which I would have been playing yesterday, but it still hasn't arrived. So, we will be raiding Riley Deer Kitty. She is a very good bean. and a lovely person. Our raid message will be... What should our raid message be? Oh, I know what it should be. There we go. A sec here. Things are a little slow at the moment. There you go. That's our raid message. You just got coconut mauled. Let me get that raid queued up. Like I said, I will be streaming Wallace and Gromit in Project Zoo tomorrow and hopefully finishing the game. And I will post next week's schedule after tomorrow, after I see what we're doing. So you all have a lovely evening. I will see you tomorrow. And good night.